Hello everyone, welcome back to the Midlife Budget. In today's video I am going to be cash stuffing £1,130 for the first week of November. I love the first week of the month because it's always a bit extra to cash stuff, and I've even got more this week because I have some savings challenges that I had completed at the end of October, but because I'd had that pause while I refreshed and restarted and renamed my channel, I haven't actually done anything with that money. So we will add that to the amount I've got here and then we'll cash stuff the whole lot. Okay, so here is the challenge binder. What I've got is October's Friday Saver. So that's that one. So we'll leave the envelope in because we'll do November and December. This one can come out. So this is, oh, let's just move that money over there. We'll get all mixed up. So Duck Duck Goose, this was to save 135. Now, £50 of it I'd already used when we went on holiday in the summer, so we can get rid of that. So I've got 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 85 to add to the pile, and we'll take that one out. That one's done and dusted. And then I completed Hello Autumn, which was a little freebie from the Queen Bee Makes. And this one saved 20, 30, 45. Pop that in the pile. We can take that one out as well. And then the Penny Popper was part of my, a Secret Santa from the Queen Bee Makes last year. And I'm so pleased that she's doing them again this year because that will be straight in my basket. So that one saved £70 and that's in here. And that is the last one. So 20, 40, 50, 60, 70. Okay, so we can clip that back up again. It's looking a bit thin now, not many challenges in there. And we'll add up how much I've got. So I think it should be £280 if my sums are right. Oh goodness. Like the Krypton factor, trying to get everything organised. Show me age there, aren't I? With the good old Krypton factor. So for those of you who are far too young to remember, it was a kind of like a game show programme where they had to do all of the tests. So you know when you go for a job now, they make you do all those spatial awareness and psychometric tests. It was kind of like that, I think. That's the ones I always remember, trying to do the kind of mirror images of things and old timed. So I think it was in the 70s that was on, 70s or 80s. So 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 92, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 75, 80, oh, 85. It's a little bit more than I thought. Right, I might have a £5 extra when it comes to the end of the stuffing. We'll see what's going on. Okay, so let's add it all up and see how much I've got. Nice big chunk. So 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40, 60, 82, 20, 40, 60, 83, 20, 40, 60, 84, 20, 40, 60, 85, 20, 40, 60, 86, 20, 40, 60, 87, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 8, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 9. I've got to put that down because the hands aren't big enough. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 1,000. And 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 85, 90, 95, 1,100, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 27, 29, 30. So that is right, £1,130 to stuff. Okay, let's get all this sorted. I think I've got more 10s than I need and less 20s. But it all can go in the same pot, can't it? It'll be fine. Right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to get my weekly purse. Now I've made a big change to our budget, as you've seen in my budget with me, and I have increased our food budget to £200 a month. I would like to spend less. I need to be realistic. I need to budget properly, not on what the ideal would be, but on actually what we're going to spend. So I am going to put £200 in it, but I'm going to do something with that money. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 120, 40, 60, 80, 180, 190, 195, 200. Okay, so that's the 200 food budget, but I'm going to play a little dice game. So we save a little bit of that money. Okay, so I have had this Dice Baby game for years. And I tried doing it, I think, with my personal spending money, and I thought it's just going to take too long to save. But we're going to do it with the food. So I'm going to roll this dice, this 10-sided dice, twice. And then I'm going to deduct that from my food budget, and we're going to save it. I need to find a little pot to put it in. Okay, so 3 is the first one. So £3, and then 8. So what's that all together? 11. So if I take the 10 and the 11 out, and we'll put the 11 in here. Oh, we need to cross them off first, don't we? So we'll do, it was an 8 and a 3, wasn't it? 8 and a 3. There we go. I'll get into the swing of that more when I do it next week. So let's see what that leaves me for food. There's a dog having a good old shake. Okay, so for food, I have got 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40, 60, 85, 89, 189. That should be enough. I did do some batch cooking with the stuff I bought from Costco. That was my husband just coming home. The dog was going mad. Right, so that's food done. I'm going to take beer tokens out because I'm not going to budget for that separately. It's going to come out of the food budget. Household is getting its £30. Have I done, have I done fivers? I think I have. Hang on. I think I've done 10, 20, 25, 30 for household this month. That seems to be about the right amount, with me having the money for the bulk shop at Costco as well. Toiletries also seems to be the right amount at 10, 20, 25, 30. We spent exactly the £30 last month rather, maybe minus a couple of quid. Miscellaneous is getting its usual 5. And then we are on to my spending. And the first week of the month, I get £40. And my husband gets all of his monthly spending allowance because he likes to have it in his wallet. So he's got 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40. So we'll take his and we'll just pop that to the side. I'll give him that in a minute. And then mine, no, I think I've got the wrong denominations. Yes, I have. I need a 20 and 2 10s. So I'd hung on to £50 of my spending money because I was going to order one of those custom envelope bundles from Iris Budgets. I had it all done. It was in my basket. I was about to press go and somebody else bought it. So gutted. I'm absolutely gutted, but hey ho, I'll save up for it for next time. Because I wanted one for the girls' trip because we're going on a cruise. So it's a bit more money than we would normally save, would normally spend on a girls' trip. So I'm pleased I started saving for it when I came back from our holiday in June. Never been on a cruise before. Don't really like big boats and water. So I'm probably going to have to hit the cocktails. So I think I'm just in a big hotel. But yeah, we're going to go around Greece. So that'll be great. Some places I have been and some places I've not been. So I'm looking forward to that. So let's have a look. What am I doing? I am doing my savings. Okay, so I'm going to put £10 into this £5 note challenge. Money's everywhere. So we'll just put £10 in here to start with. I haven't got any plans for anything as yet. So I'm going to put £10 in there. I'm not out this weekend. So I've got £250 as an IOU in there. That's what those placeholders are. Because I used part of my savings to go towards our summer holiday. And I'm just waiting for a bonus for it to be paid back. But I've got 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 105, 10 in there now. And because I know I'm not doing anything this weekend, I'm going to pop £10 in here because I want to get this one finished. So this one I do have a £50 IOU in. And the £50 that I didn't spend on the Iris custom bundle, I've put in here because I want to get this one finished. So I just need to find the right purple. And I'm going to put 10 in here because when I finish that, that will give me 180. And I think my deposit for the girls' trip is 125. So let me get organised. Completely the wrong way around. So I've got £50 as a placeholder and I've got 20, 40, 60, 75, 85, 90. So I'll be on 140 when that gets repaid. I've also got £100 owed, which was left over from last year's holiday. Okay, so there we go. That's those done. And I'll put this £20 in my spending and then I'll get £30 next week, 40 the week after, 30 the week after that. And that'll be me all up to date. I just like my weekly, so then I can put money into my savings challenges. Right, so that's all of the weekly expenses done, and we're going to move on to sinking funds. Oh no, I've missed one out. I've missed one out. It's in the wrong place. That's why I've missed it out, because normally my spending money is last. Okay, so it's eaten out. So instead of doing it as a monthly budget, I'm going to try it weekly. And I'm going to put £20 in. I've actually reduced our sort of eating out and fun budget, because it normally goes on food anyway, to £80 a month from 100, just to help fund the increased food budget. And if I'm finding I'm managing on that, I may include household and toiletries in there as well. We shall see how we get on. It's a new regime, so we'll see what works. Okay, so let's start with annual sinking funds. And I'm going to put £30, 20, 30, oh no, that's not 20, £30 into home insurance. So I have 150 in the bank, 170, 180 now for home insurance, and that's not due until the end of May. Okay, anything else in this one? Yes, I am putting home maintenance is getting £40, 20, 40. So I'm at work next week. Well, I'm away with work most of next week. And then the week after we're on annual leave, we've spent some of our home projects and home maintenance money on some paint and whatnot, so we can make some progress on the utility room and just do a few other paint touch-up jobs and whatnot around the house. So that'll be a fun week off. Okay, so there's that one. And then we are moving on to variable, because I've got no birthdays that I'm stuffing this week. So Barbers isn't getting anything. So I'm not actually stuffing Barbers this month because I've still got £50 in. And that is 2 haircuts for my husband and 1 for my son. And my son's growing his at the back. The front's quite long, but he's growing the back. So he'll only need 1 cut. And then health is getting 25. And this is really for prescriptions. I have a HRT PPC, so I only pay, I think it's 20 odd quid. Is it 20 odd quid or 30 odd quid? Covers me for the year. And then my husband has a prescription, but he was getting that every 3 months, and they've actually reduced his prescription from 2 items to 1 because he hasn't actually had it for 6 months. So he didn't really need it anymore, or not as much as he did. So that's health. The dog's not getting stuffed this week. Nor's the gardener. EV charging is getting 100, so it's getting 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 95, 100. Do you know what it is? I think I'm short of fivers if I do that. So we'll do 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 100 going into EV charging. That will get spent next week because I'm down south. And I have to charge my car probably about 3 times. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 100, 110 in EV charging. So I charge the car at home, and that covers sort of most of my journeys. Or you might use real pootling around. And that just is paid as part of my gas and electricity bill. It's only when I am having to use the public network to charge because I am away from home with work that I need that. Most of it is covered, is reimbursed with expenses. And budgeting bits is getting 10. So I think I might need some other bits. I will need an A5 binder once I get the, if I can get that custom envelopes from Iris before they all sell out. Buffer isn't getting anything this week, and that is it. Books, and then Costco. This was amazing. I was looking for something for my husband. He asked if I still had a letter or something from work, and I found this in my old desk drawer. Now, I thought I'd chucked it out because there was a point that we decided we weren't going to renew our Costco membership because we weren't using it, but we have been using it again. So it must have been sitting in the drawer for a year or two, which is because it's blue. It's done in that design, which matches all of my long-term envelopes. These are all sort of blue. These are my sort of long-term sinking funds. But really, it's a variable one because I'll be using it every sort of 3 months. And then I've got this one, which was Costco, that I've turned into Vets. Our friend who used to look after our dog. And really, it's too much. The dogs just wind each other up when they're together. So we need to make sure that my dog's got all his inoculations so he can go into doggy daycare when we're away. So I need a new envelope for Vets. But I could do with a Costco one being green and a Vets one being blue. But you work with what you've got. Okay, so that was a nice little surprise. Then we're on to the Beauty, which is the pink one. And what's getting stuffed today? So I'm putting £40 into hair. Pop that in there. And I'm putting 25 into nails. Okay. She stopped taking the deposit off me now for my nails. I must be reliable enough. So that will be for this month's nail appointment. And that's everything for there. So the rest of it is for reallocating to the savings challenges. So the savings challenges are still in there, and stuffing this week's savings challenges from the budget. Okay, so I'll kind of do some savings challenges and I'll probably go back and stuff with the savings challenge money that got completed last week, if that makes sense, at the end of October. Okay, so we'll do Christmas first. It'll all make sense. It'll all come out in the wash. So we're going to do Christmas. So Christmas has been condensed. So I have been doing my cash stuffing and my condensing and my usual process. I just haven't been recording it where I went through that decision about whether I was going to continue and sort of relaunching myself. New me. So I'm doing £50 and it's all going to go into this Christmas care. So I'm going to do 40. I'm really good at colouring these little circles in, and 50. There we go. Oh gosh. Oh dear, that's even worse. So 20, 40, 50. Okay, so in this Christmas care, or at least I call it Christmas care because it's £1,000, I've got 300 in the bank and 20, 40, 50, 60. 360 in that one. And we're going to start some of the other Christmas challenges this week. So I have taken a challenge out because I know now how much our Christmas dinner is going to cost, and it's less than I thought. So I've actually taken out a £60 challenge that I had because I don't need it. Okay, and then I'm going to do Gumdrop Buttons. He's getting a £5. So we can colour in, or rather tick one of these gingerbread men off. I think that's the third time I've started that challenge. And then we're going to do one in keeping tabs on mince pies as well. So I'm going to put £20 into this one. And we will do this mince pie over here. Do love a mince pie. I haven't had one yet. They're in the shops, but I have resisted temptation and haven't eaten one. Okay, so £20 in that one. So I've got those 3 challenges, and then I've got this little Candy Cane Lane, which was a freebie off the Queen Bee Makes, in there as well. So if I do those 4 Christmas challenges, then I have enough for my Christmas budget. Okay, and then 2 challenges in here. So you're not going to see me stuff a lot of challenges for the rest of the year and probably into 2026. I'm more going to focus on what my goals are. I know I could put money into challenges and then feed those challenges in, but I'm just going to do it slightly differently. So I'm putting £10 into this one. I need a purple. So I tend to round them up. So I've rounded it up to £10. Because you added all those together, it's not 70, but I just round it up to 70 because then it's a nice round number to feed into my goals. So £10 into that one. Start that Friday saver. And when Friday saver for November is completed, the £70 gets fed into something else. And I think I've lost a fiver. So I'm going to do 10, 25. So if I take the 30, oh heck. Oh well, I know where there's some fivers. I'm not quite sure why I've got an odd fiver. I've got an extra one, we'll pop it somewhere. Where are those fivers? They are in my savings challenges. So just bear with me while I sort this out. So we'll swap one of those tenors for 2 fivers. Pop that tenner in there. In you go. Okay. Right, so I need £25 to go into the 2025 saver. And this, it says 2026 holes, and it is going to be used for that. It's going to be towards my husband's trip that he's doing in January with the boys. His trip's in January, mine's in June. Actually end of May. So 25. We've gone a week earlier, just so my other friend can make it because she's got another thing on. So I've got 125 in there. So that one will save 400 because I've already used £100 of it towards our summer holiday. So I think I'll know where that fiver's going if it's left over. Okay, so that's savings challenges. Okay, so what's left here is the money from the completed savings challenges. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get birthdays and occasions. Now, somewhere last month, I don't know whether it was the end of the month where I did my condensing at the end of September, but when I looked in, and they also did the condensing, and then I moved all of my little buckets from Chase back into Starling because I wanted more of them. And somewhere along the line, I have miscalculated or accounted for £50 of my son's birthday. So he should have had 150 at the end of October, and he's only got 100. You can see I've marked it off, but he's only got, actually physically got 100. So I'm going to use £50 of the savings challenges to make that up to the 150 it should be. So the number of icons that's coloured in is right. So 150 is what you should have. Okay, so that's all I'm putting in that one. And then I'm going to go back to Christmas, and I'm going to put £100 in Christmas. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, £100. Just double check that. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Yeah, £100 into Christmas. Put all the money together. Okay, so what should we colour in this time? We're going to do 40 60, 100. Okay, so in the Christmas challenge, the Christmas K, I've got 320, 40, 60, 70, 80, 90, 410, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 460. I've also got £90, which is this challenge, which is completed. So I've got 550 altogether for Christmas. Okay, so that's quite good. It's nowhere near where it needs to be, but at least I'm getting closer to the amount. Okay, and then I'm going to put some money into my emergency fund. So 10, 20, 30, 40, £50 is going into my emergency fund. So if you remember, I was starting to rebuild this, and then across September, the end of September, beginning of October, my husband and I, between us, had 2 emergency fill-ins. He's private, so we both had to have a fill-in. And then in October, he had a tooth cracked from top to bottom. Couldn't be saved, so we had to have that extraction. And then he also had a fill-in and all the bits and bobs done at the same time. So between us, we've spent nearly £600 on dental treatment in the last couple of months. And I have wiped out my emergency fund. So I've got £50 in it at the minute. That's all I've got. And I'm going to add in this other £50. So I'll have 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Now I've already transferred that £100, this £50 over into my account. So in my account, there is £100 sitting. So I'm going to take that placeholder out and that £50, and I'm going to replace it with a £100 placeholder. So that £50 is just going to go back to bank. Dodgy old placeholders I've run out when I was doing the condensing. So it's already completed my tracker for the £100. We're just starting again. We're going to have to start again because there was only, I think, £50 in my medical and dentist sinking fund, so I couldn't use that for, well, I did use it towards my husband's treatment, but then I had to take another £250 out of here, and then there was about £18 of cash flowed. So yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? I was just lucky that I had some money in the emergency fund that I could use. Okay, so this other £100, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. I am a bit short. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 85 is going into, I know what I've done. I do know what I've done. So, bear with me. What I've done is I've put £20 in, I've put £200 into food, and I've actually already spent a little bit of it because I bought some milk and a couple of bits for my son because he's gone for a sleepover. So I should have 125 in here. 50, 70, 80, 90, 110, 20. Oh, I've messed it up now, haven't I? I've completely messed myself up. What have I done? 20. Right, I had 75. Definitely had 75. 1, 2, 3. That's right. That's right. So I've got £50 in the bank. That's what I've got left. 70, 80, 90, 110, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 75, 175. Yeah, that's right. Because we need to order our lino for the utility room before we can do anything else. So we've bought some paint. We need to do the paint wash thing on the new plaster. Then we need to paint it, and then we need to get the lino order, but the lino's on back order at the minute. Okay, so I have got a £5 left over. Okay, confusing myself. And that fiver, watch out dog, why of all the times do you choose to go under my desk? Right, so we're going to put this fiver in here, in flannels, lattes and leggings. So each of these coffees or hot chocolates is a fiver. So we're going to pop it in there. Start that one off. As I say, I'm just going to do little challenges for the rest of this year and probably into next year. I'll just be doing little ones. There we go. Because I'll be putting the chunks into my goals that I have. Okay, so there we are, all cash stuffed for the first week of November. So I will be back at the end of next week to review my budget to see have we managed to stick to this much enhanced food budget that we've got, and how we did against the rest of this week's budget as well. And I'll cash stuff for the second week of November. So have a fantastic weekend, have a great week, and I shall speak to you all then. Thanks now, bye bye.